people recognised that they could get to the doctor and be seen, they came. And the amount of unrecognised disease that there had been around was just breathtaking. It was quite clear that we were now tackling the problems that should really be tackled.
There was a colossal backlog. Women going around with their uteruses turned inside out, and men with hernias the size of a balloon that they'd never been able to have repaired. It was the age of trusses, when you'd see this balloon with a truss on top of it. People nowadays who talk as though we didn't really need a health service, they just have absolutely no idea of how it was.
Decades of neglect were taking their toll on Bevan's baby.
So far, the National Health Service has been getting along remarkably smoothly.
In the pre-NHS world, few people could afford dental treatment and simply let their teeth rot away. Britain's 9,000 dentists found themselves swamped. 33 million dentures were issued in the first year, at a cost to the nation of almost £20 million.
Millions of you have got the spectacles you needed.
The rush for glasses, too, became a runaway burden to the health service. Production couldn't keep up. Soon, there was a 6-month waiting list.
And tens of millions of you have visited the doctor under the scheme and got your medicine.
With prescriptions increasing fourfold to 240 million, it was clear Bevan's new service was becoming a victim of its own success.
There's no danger whatever that the National Health Service will break down.
The government tried to put a cap on the NHS spending. In the first year, I think it was 179 million. In the next year, it was 240 million or something like that. And then the next year, they capped it at 352 million. And it was at that stage that they began to realize that the thing was running away with itself. It's ridiculous looking back that there was a feeling that the introduction of a National Health Service would improve the health of the nation so much that after it was introduced, the actual cost would come down. The cost continued to escalate because of the steady developments in medicine, which inevitably were more costly.
Yet despite the drain on the public purse and the agonising 6-month battle over its birth, the changes that Bevan's NHS made to Britain's health were immediate and dramatic.
The health service started in an atmosphere of friction, of controversy, of doubt, and of great hopes. There has gone on in the past a vast amount of silent suffering, a vast amount of remediable pain, and I believe in Great Britain we have made a great start.
Within just 10 years, infant mortality had halved. Life expectancy increased dramatically. Death from infectious diseases had fallen by over 80%. For many, the NHS was not merely Nye Bevan's finest hour, but the greatest political achievement of the century.
The NHS was a great achievement. What was achieved was the basis from which we could go forward. What was happening could not go on. It had to change.
There is a degree of altruism in the NHS that it's really very difficult to find in anything else these days. Here is something that society has decided to do for itself, to make sure that no single member of its number falls through the cracks in the floorboards. I mean it's a very noble way for a society to live.
It's Nye Bevan's NHS, and I think that people of my generation will never let that go. We talk about national treasures. What could be better than free health care delivered to everybody? to you and your children and their children. I think it was wonderful, and I'm glad to have been part of it from its conception, you might say, till now, and I wish it well on its 60th.
Former BBC DG Greg Dyke takes us on a tour of the Welsh valleys and the life of a hero of his next tonight on BBC FOUR, the man who simultaneously created the National Health Service and set about rebuilding war-torn Britain, Aneurin Bevan.